Welcome back. Hi, I'm your celiac neighbor. Okay, maybe you've just been diagnosed with celiac disease, or maybe a friend or family member, someone you care about, has been diagnosed. So today I want to speak in really simple terms about what celiac disease is. Now, I hope that if you've been diagnosed, you've received a lot of good information. I have heard stories about many people who have been diagnosed who really don't get much information. Like they just kind of get told, okay, you have celiac disease, start a gluten-free diet now. Good luck. So if you're in that position, don't worry. There is lots of great information out there. I would say to start, a really good thing to do would be to find your local celiac association or support group and make sure that you are getting your information from a reliable source. Now, I say reliable because, as I'm sure you know by now, the internet is full of all kinds of theories and ideas that, could really be anybody saying them, not necessarily backed by science or research. So you want to make sure that you're getting your information from a reliable source. For example, I'm in Canada, so here we have the Canadian Celiac Association. They have all kinds of great resources, articles about celiac disease, how to get diagnosed, what to do once you're diagnosed, webinars about starting with the gluten-free diet. They have a great conference every year where you can learn about celiac disease, whether you're a beginner or whether you've had it for years. So lots of great resources there. If you're in the US, I know that there's the Celiac Disease Foundation. I think there's another, similar group in the UK. So I'm going to, in the description, just put some of those links there. And if you're not sure where to turn for help in your area, you might consider, emailing somebody on one of those websites, and perhaps they can help point you in the right direction. Okay, so what is celiac disease? So before I even say that, I want to define gluten. What is gluten, right? You've probably heard of gluten-free in the last, I don't know, decade or so. Like it's just seemed to pop up everywhere, right? Gluten-free this, gluten-free that. What is gluten? Okay, gluten is a protein. It's a protein found in wheat. There is a similar protein found in barley and rye. Okay, so it is a protein. When somebody with celiac disease eats gluten, it makes them sick. Okay, that is the simplest explanation. It makes them sick. Why does it make them sick? Celiac disease is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune meaning the body attacks itself. Now, we have an immune system, which is a wonderful thing. Our immune system defends us when something enters our body that shouldn't be there. For example, let's say you get, a virus, like a stomach virus or, one of those cold viruses. Our body knows, okay, this doesn't belong here. And it mounts an attack to help get rid of the virus. And this is a good thing. And then, after a couple days, the virus goes away, the attack stops, and you're all good. The problem with celiac disease is your body thinks gluten is a foreign invader and starts to attack and basically attacks itself. Now, this attack takes place in the small intestine. In the small intestine, you have these little finger type things called villi, and they're responsible for absorbing nutrients and helping you to digest your food. So when gluten is ingested, these little villi get damaged. And so your body can't absorb nutrients properly. So, as you can imagine, this might be a problem. So some of the classic symptoms of celiac disease that you may be familiar with are, stomach upset, right? Having an upset stomach, having to run to the bathroom, cramps, that sort of thing. But what's surprising is that there are a lot of symptoms of celiac that people might not realize have any connection to celiac disease at all. For example, some people experience, bad headaches or fatigue, problems with like neurological issues, tingling in their fingers and feet, like things that you really wouldn't picture. There are actually over 300 symptoms associated with celiac disease. So you can see why it might be hard to pin down, or why someone going to the doctor, it might not be so clear what the issue is going in. And perhaps the most interesting thing about celiac disease is that you could have no symptoms at all, right? Like you could have it and really have no idea. For example, I have a friend who went to the doctor because she was, she was feeling like tired, like a little bit off, nothing major. And in her blood work, they found out that her iron was low. So the question was like, why was the iron low, right? What was going on there? So it turned out, that she had someone in her family with celiac disease. So they thought to test her as well. And turns out that she had celiac disease too. But really, she didn't really have obvious symptoms. So about 1% of the general population has celiac disease. But if you have an immediate family member, meaning a parent, a child, or a sibling with celiac disease, there's about a 1 in 10 chance that you too have celiac disease or will develop it. So this is why it's really important if you have an immediate family member with celiac disease that you go and get tested yourself, because there are people with celiac disease that really have no symptoms at all. So the only way to know would be to, do the testing. And there's a very simple blood test that can be used to screen for celiac disease. The same way if somebody in their family had a history of a certain type of cancer or heart disease, they would go get screened to make sure that, they're healthy in those areas. In the same way, it's important to get screened for celiac if there is that family link. Okay, so that's just a whole little sidebar. Currently, unfortunately, there is no cure for celiac disease. There's a lot of research going on, but at this time, there is no cure. However, there is a very effective treatment, and that is, you guessed it, the gluten-free diet. So that means avoiding wheat, barley, and rye, and anything else that, might be cross-contaminated with that. Oats. Some people with celiac can eat oats, some people cannot. It's a bit of a complicated issue because even for the people that can eat oats, because they're often processed with wheat, you have to make sure that they're safe to eat, right? So there's certain oats that are processed in a way that is safe for people with celiac disease. That is a whole other topic for another time. But the important thing to do if you've just been diagnosed and told that you need to go on a gluten-free diet is to, start to understand what that gluten-free diet is and how to go about it. So I hope to, make some more videos to help make that journey easier. I would definitely suggest to start by going to those links that I mentioned, whatever celiac association or foundation you have in your area. And again, I'll put those links in the description. The important thing to know is this is going to be a journey, right? It's not an easy diagnosis to get. There are a lot of emotional factors associated with being diagnosed, like feeling, maybe you're going to feel different in food situations, worrying about, how you're going to travel and like deal with food and all of that. And for a lot of people, there can be, quite a bit of an emotional adjustment. And it's important to, honor your feelings and be real with yourself. I have to tell you, you are not alone. You can do this. And, if you look, you will find that there is a community out there of people who, will support you, who are going through something similar. And you can have a great life with celiac disease, possibly even better than the one you've had up until now. Thanks for being here. I'm your celiac neighbor. Hope to see you again soon.